guys love gray hair balayage videos, so I've got another good one for you today. So many people are asking, how do you do a root retouch with balayage? And I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that in today's video. So let's get ready, buckle up, friend, we're gonna have a lot of fun. Alrighty, here we go. Look at those roots and the banding and the highlights. I wanted to give you a full look at what we are dealing with today. Leanne loves to be blonde, but we like to cover those grays, and so I'm going to show you this little trick. So the thing is if you do a root retouch and then balayage, you can't go into the color that's processing the gray. I learned this the hard way. And so what I'm doing here is a little trick where I'm going to actually put foils in the front so that we can get that nice bright close to the root pieces, but I still want to balayage the rest of her hair to create the graduation on the strand. So this is the only place where I am foiling, going up, just breaking up, getting light on the gray root retouch, but then also getting through that old color. I'm using the Framar foils because they look so beautiful and they're amazing and they look good in my space, but also because I love Framar. Okay, so I'm going back to back slices. I'm going diagonal, kind of parallel to her part, but also diagonal from parallel from her hairline, sorry, but diagonal from her part. I'm going back to back slices to give it that bolder pop around her face. And like I said, if you go back and look at my other video where I've done Leanne's hair, I do it with just freehand balayage, and because she didn't have as many roots, we didn't have to deal with. But if you want to get close to the root, there's two options. Either you can do what I'm doing here, or I could have done a single process color on her roots, done the root retouch, and then gone through and balayage. But I want to save her time and money today. So what I'm doing here is I'm foiling in here, and then I just do like a tiny baby shadow root tap, whatever you want to call it, at these foil ones. So here we go, getting through that color, getting through that gray, getting some lift so she can have some bright pop, because you know we were shut down here for a really long time. She couldn't get in. So this is like the quickest way. And so sometimes I like to give my clients options. This is a really important piece of when I work with my clients is I want to ask them, like, what do you want more? Because a lot of my clients love the open air balayage. They love the gradients of it. You know, they don't get that demarcation line. Even with shadow roots, sometimes that demarcation line comes back. But today we wanted to save her time and money. So here you can see I'm taking a bigger section. I'm going to leave some hair out. My goodness, look at those roots. I'm going to weave this one just to kind of start transitioning off into the next section. So weaving that out just to blend it out. And you're going to see that this is going to be my last section on this side. Then I'm going to go over to the other side, do the exact same thing around her part. She's rocking the middle part these days, which I love. You're going to see her after. It looks so freaking rad. You can see there I use my tail part of my comb to just push the foil up and close to the root. If you've seen my most recent or a video recently, I ask, do you fold your foil backward or forward? This is like a real thing in our industry. So let me know down in the comments. Do you fold it like me where it goes over your comb into the back? And what I like about that is if it slips at all, I can lift it up and I can lower it down. So if I'm worried about bleeding on the other side. All right, so I went and did the other side. Now this is what I'm doing for her root color. Is I'm using 6NA and 9NN in Redken, and I like it because it gives her, the 6NA gives like that depth and that coolness. I know it seems a little bit odd to be mixing colors with such a big difference between it, but I find I get the coolness. And I don't know about you guys, but I used to really struggle with pulling a lot of warmth when I was doing gray coverage, because you need that warmth and that underlying tone and that pigment. So I'm using Redken 20 vol here to cover those roots. I love the 6NA and the 9NN because we get it nice and bright still. I'm going through, you can see I did the other foils on the other side and covering those grays completely, just like a root retouch. You can see like her previous color of the roots, that's the 6NA and the 9NN. I love it. It doesn't go super warm on her, but it gives full coverage. It looks so bomb. So here I am going through sectioning. I've gotten down pat how to do a root retouch in 15 minutes. It's maybe a skill that was brought into me when I first started in the industry. It was about getting things on fast. But still with good quality. So you can see here, I really like to use my Framar brushes. I think it's the Big Daddy. Is that what that one's called? I can't remember. I don't know the names, but it's the extra wide. I love using this one for root retouches because you can cover more space in less time. So here I'm sectioning out my 4 quadrants. I love this, and you're going to see how I'm going to do the side a little bit different. So I'm going over the other side, getting that quadrant ready, always prepping for what I'm wanting to do. I'm not huge on pre-sectioning, but I section as I go, as you can see here. All right, so this is where I'm going to start taking angled sections and covering those roots. And I go angled because I like to keep it away from the face. I want to keep hair off her face at all costs. This is like one thing that I'm pretty particular about because I want to make sure that the experience is really good for my guest. And I know you're similar to me like that, where it's like you love doing great hair, but you really care about caring for amazing people. You don't just want them to love their hair. You want them to love and appreciate the experience the whole time they're in the salon. So you can see her slight angled, going away from the face, kind of pushing it to the other side, working around the foils, not letting them get too much in the way, and really making sure I get full saturation, putting a lot of product on there. Here I'm going vertical and away from the face. Once again, keeping it away from the face, lots of coverage of that product. I want to make sure that all those, I've learned this the hard way. I used to chintz on products, especially when I first went self-employed, and I wouldn't get the coverage. So I'm getting really full coverage, getting it all on there, making sure that that gray, like look at the coverage she gets from this color. It's freaking phenomenal. I love it so much. Here I'm going between the foils, making sure we got coverage there, lifting that up. I want to be careful. You can see some of that hair that I left out of the highlights, making sure like I didn't need to highlight them because the ends. So you want to be careful not to get the root color on that. So you can see how I'm kind of bouncing between, going back to the side now that those foils have lifted up and given me space to move. You want to be really careful. This is part where like I'm a messy colorist. If you're a messy colorist too, let me know in the comments. I want to connect with you. And so sometimes it can be really hard to be clean and tidy, especially when the more creative I am, the more it looks like a bomb went off in my salon. And so really working through this, being particular about being careful about not getting those little hairs that are out of the foils. Here I am around the hairline. The last thing I want is to miss this hairline and her to pull her hair back and see a bunch of gray hairs. So now I can clip those off her face, work through the rest of the roots, getting really good coverage. But the nice thing is that because of those foils, we're gonna have that bright money piece. Oh, I cringe at that word. And if you don't know that, go check out my money piece video. It is so good. You guys loved it that have seen it already. I can't believe how much I'm gonna be coming out with some more money piece videos as well for different hair types. But here you can see I can get that hairline nice and clean, giving her a good experience. I don't want it to be messy around her face. I like this color because it's thick and it applies really well and it stays in place. It doesn't sweat on her hair. So I'm actually going to give you a flashback to the past of a previous YouTube video. If you want to go check it out, I'm going to link it just above here. This is when I didn't do the foils and I just did balayage all over. So I want you to go check that out. And it's also going to show you how I balayaged over the root color. So you can see this is from her previous video that I've made, making sure you don't want to overlap it into that color, but you want to bring the lightener up. So this is exactly what I did again this time going through, but I have the foils in the front this time. So go check out this video if you want a breakdown of how to work with the root color and the balayage on gray coverage. It's a really good video that's going to break it down. People loved it. So make sure you go check it out. And that's going to break down how to do the balayage with the root color. And that's exactly what I did for the rest of her hair besides the foils this time. So here you can see, boom, with the foils in the front to get that nice bright pop in the front because her roots were a little bit longer. The balayage on the rest of her hair with that root color. Her gray is going to be coverage. It's going to look freaking phenomenal. There's a nice little artsy shot I took in the salon. And look at that. Oh my gosh, we ran out of daylight, which is so sad. But look at that blend. No shadow root on that. There's no shadow root. That's like just from processing and blow drying it. That's what the beauty of doing this open air balayage is. And then you can see the front where we did the foils. It's still soft. I did a little tiny root shadow, like a baby shadow just on the front to give it that blend. But the rest just got so much higher up. You can tell it's artificial light, which is such a bummer, but look at how beautiful and golden and crisp her color looks. I am so freaking in love with it. Go check out the other video. If you've got gray haired clients for retouches and you feel like it's taking too much time or like it would cost too much or the double process, this is the thing to do. This is a technique to use to cut down time, to get banging results, to save your client money and have it look so like you never know that she had gray. In the root color, the 6NA and the 9NN really works wonders to give it that natural like ashy level 7 look. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm curious, have you done this technique? Will you try it? This is the best way I find to actually get close up to the root while still creating that blend without compromising the look. So go ahead, drop me a line. Let me know, will you try this technique? I'm so curious to hear from you. And also, do you want me to do more gray-haired balayage videos? I want to bring to you what you're looking to learn. So drop a comment, let me know what kind of videos you want to see next. If you want more gray ones, I'm all ears. I want to hear from you. All right, we'll see you next week.